Hello everybody. I apologize for the noise, but it's a fan and I'm extremely hot, so I'm not going to turn it off. But I thought I would talk to you guys today and give you guys another little baby update. And obviously, since I'm not in a hospital, baby has not come. So today I am officially 37 weeks pregnant, which means I am full term. And which is good news. If you have been following me here, right at 34 weeks, I did start to have complications in my pregnancy. I had a day where I felt like something was off. I was like, something's wrong. I'm tired, but not usually this tired, etc. So I went to my OB and I got checked out, and he said that I had started to bleed and that I was already dilated to a 3 and I was already effaced at least 50%, and that I could actually have this baby at any time. He worried because of the status of the lungs on the baby. So babies' lungs usually are not developed as to 100%. Well, they're not developed to 100% at all, but they are usually not developed enough until 37 weeks. So at that point, after that appointment, I was taken completely off of work and I was told to take it easy. I was not put on bed rest, but he pretty much put me on house arrest. He said, don't do anything don't do too much, blah, 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 blah. Take it easy. No more sex, no more anything like that, for until we can figure this out. And he also blatantly told me, which I really do appreciate when doctors do this, he said, if you don't follow this, and even if you follow this, it could happen, but your baby will not make it to term. So with that assessment, I was extremely scared that I was going to have a preemie baby and that we were going to be spending some time in the NICU, which I know even sometimes full-term babies spend time in the NICU, but keeping him in as long as possible was going to put that chance down. So I went in for my 35. I started bleeding again. I was not dilated anymore, which was a good thing. But then he pretty much asked me again, are you working? And I said no. Pretty much everywhere that I work, I was working 2 jobs. They actually felt more comfortable keeping me off the schedule completely and me starting maternity leave early than actually keeping me on the schedule and putting me on limited work and limited labor, because just in case something did happen. So I've been off work now for 3 weeks. It's been a little boring, honestly. My last week appointment, which would have been for my 36 weeks, I went back in. I was actually pretty ecstatic because I had hit the 36-week mark, which meant my baby had a significantly small chance of actually needing NICU time or extended time, which we had just been hoping and praying for, because for the 2 weeks before then, I had been told my baby was going to have to spend time in the NICU. So my last appointment, the bleeding had stopped, thank God. No bleeding there. I was still dilated to a 3, and I was effaced to 75%. So if you don't know what dilation and ephasing is, and you really want to, pretty much you have your body, I guess, and it's like a big U. It's like a big U triangle thing, your uterus. And so then obviously the bottom is where your cervix and your vagina and all that is. So when you are pregnant, it is completely closed and it is 100% effaced, which means there is a lining in there that your baby's placenta and all that sticks to. When it's 100% effaced, that means 100% of it is there. Or, well, when it's 100% there, you're 0 effaced. So 100% of the lining is there. So as you go on through your pregnancy, hi Anna, and you like spot a little bit, which is normal in your last trimester. If you have sex and you bleed a little bit, that's completely normal as long as the bleeding stops. The cervix is actually super, super sensitive. Yes. You want to come up here and learn a lesson about medicine? No. She's like, sure. So then when your body gets ready to give birth, which is usually in your last trimester if you are a first-time mom, or sometimes when people have multiple kids and this is like their second time, it can happen a lot faster because your body actually knows what to do. So when you become to get effaced, the lining gets thinner and thinner. So when you are 50% effaced, half of your lining is gone. When you are 75% effaced, 75% is gone. And so then the bigger that number gets, you have less and less lining, which means your body is getting ready to give birth. And then what dilation means is pretty much how far open the opening is for you to give birth. When you will start pushing at 10 centimeters, and you are in full-blown active labor at anywhere from 5 to 6. So me sitting at 3 for a while, people have been telling me, and I've been reading online, that my labor is going to be very fast because I've already done what they say is the worst part. Now, I've had friends who went in with just contractions dilated at 0, and they've had their kid a couple hours later. So every body is different. So that's pretty much what those two factors are. So if you start to dilate and you start to be effaced super early in your pregnancy, like I did, or I had a cousin who started that at 30 weeks, they will put you on bed rest just to make sure your baby is as safe as possible. So I am 37 weeks, and what does that mean here in the future? Well, we have a huge storm coming, and it's going to be a full moon at the same time. So I'm hoping and I'm praying that that helps me go into labor. I've had a lot of pre-labor symptoms these last couple days. A lot of actually pre-labor symptoms. Whole nesting has come into effect. I've had, having to pee all the time, that was one. Diarrhea, that's one. Just being overall exhausted is one. Insomnia is one. There's a bunch of them, but also these symptoms are just symptoms of being pregnant. So, sorry, but I'm hoping with how far along I am and with the storm and the full moon, which a little bit of that is scientifically backed up, that it can help women who are farther along go into labor. I am hoping and I am praying that happens because I want to have this baby, and I know everyone's going to say wait just a little bit longer, but I've been told for the last 3 weeks that this baby could come at any time, and I am getting impatient. But yeah, what will happen if the baby does not come this weekend? Well, next week I will have my last ultrasound at 37 and a half-ish weeks to determine how big baby is and go from there. If baby is extremely big, because they did suspect I would have a bigger baby, then we would talk about C-section as an option or as a last resort. But if baby is not extremely big and baby is just normal size, then we will talk about induction for around October 1st. The reason that my doctor is talking about it earlier, because I know a lot of people don't like or don't talk about induction until your due date is because of the size of baby, how far along I already am, because if you're not already past your due date, the one requirement for induction, if it's not medically necessary, is to be 2 centimeters dilated, which I have been for a while now. So we'll talk about induction around the 1st of October, which is actually when I was originally going to go on maternity leave. So, but we will talk about that. They will go through with the ultrasound and measure baby's lungs, because that's what they're more worried about, that have grown correctly. That we do next week as well. And we get some more cute little pictures. And yeah, overall, next week they are making a fun appointment for me instead of a normal one. And they say, we hope we don't have to see you next week, but we will, and we'll get some more pictures of baby if we have to. Which was a joke, and I love my OB's sense of humor and just everything that he does. But yeah, that's everything. I am still at home. I've went through the extreme nesting phase for the past 2 days. I have gotten rid of so much stuff. I have cleaned so much stuff. And I actually feel really good cleaning and getting rid of a bunch of stuff. That I should have done this beforehand. But yeah, that's actually all I have for you. The next video, hopefully, that I put up will be one that I shot a long time ago before I was put on bed rest, or will be one with baby in it. I'm hoping this weekend, with the moon and the storms that come, I'm hoping they bring baby. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to be a mom. I'm ready to go through the pain. I had a really, really rough day yesterday with the nausea and heat and everything. It was bad. It was worse than my first trimester, because my first trimester, it wasn't during the summer. It was more during the spring. So then it wasn't as hot outside. It wasn't as X, Y, and Z. So then when I'm going back with these hot flashes and the nausea, it's like tenfold because it's 95 degrees outside. Anyways, I'm going to stop bitching to you guys. But I just thought I'd give you a little baby update. He is still there. He is kicking hard. He freaked Ethan out the other day, which was quite hilarious, and I wish I could have gotten it on tape. But pretty much Ethan was looking at my belly, and then he kicked like 4 times in a row in one spot, and so it was like doo, 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 doo. And it freaked Ethan out. It was really funny. It was really cool to watch. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.